Once upon a time in the grand city of Takasila, nestled in the kingdom of Gandhara, there lived a wealthy merchant named Rajiv. He was a man of great prosperity, known for his vast riches, his sprawling estate, and his love for fine cattle. One day, while strolling through the bustling livestock market, his eyes landed on a young calf, strong, well-built, and different from the rest. Unlike other calves that shuffled nervously, this one stood tall, his eyes sharp, almost as if he understood everything happening around him. Rajiv, a man who prided himself on recognizing true value, knew instantly that this was no ordinary animal. He bought the calf without hesitation and took him home, naming him Delightful. Unlike other cattle owners, Rajiv treated Delightful with great care. He fed him the finest grains, bathed him with perfumed water, and adorned him with fresh garlands. And in return, Delightful grew into a magnificent bull, stronger, wiser, and more loyal than any other. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Delightful stood beneath a large banyan tree, watching his master from afar. Over the years, Rajiv had given him the best of everything. Now, Delightful wanted to repay his kindness. The next morning, as Rajiv walked past, the bull raised his head and spoke in a calm, steady voice. "Master, I want to give something back." Rajiv stopped in his tracks, his eyes wide with shock. Had his bull just spoken? "I have lived under your care for years," Delightful continued. "You have given me everything. Now it is my turn to serve you. Find the wealthiest merchant in the city, one who prides himself on having the strongest bulls. Challenge him. Tell him that your bull can pull 100 fully loaded carts. Make a bet." Rajiv hesitated. The idea was daring, almost reckless, but the thought of proving that his bull was the strongest in Takasila filled him with excitement. That very evening, Rajiv rode into the city and sought out Dhanraj, the richest merchant in Takasila, a man famous for his arrogance and vast herds of prize cattle. Seated in his lavish courtyard, Dhanraj listened and then chuckled. "Rajiv, you expect me to believe that nonsense? No bull can pull 100 loaded carts." "My bull can," Rajiv said, standing firm. Dhanraj smirked. "Then let's make it interesting. I bet you 1,000 gold coins that your bull will fail." Rajiv's heart pounded. This was a fortune, but he had faith in Delightful. Without hesitation, he extended his hand. "Deal." The news of the wager spread like wildfire, and soon the entire city buzzed with excitement. On the day of the challenge, the town square was packed. Merchants, farmers, nobles, everyone gathered to witness the impossible. 100 carts, each loaded with sand, stones, and sacks of grain, were lined up. The sheer weight was beyond comprehension. Rajiv, filled with pride, prepared Delightful for the challenge. He bathed him, fed him the finest rice, and adorned him with a garland of fresh flowers. The bull stood tall, his muscles rippling under the morning sun. But as Rajiv climbed onto the first cart, something inside him changed. The cheers of the crowd, the eyes of the nobles, and Dhanraj's smug smirk made him feel an urge to assert his dominance, to prove his superiority not just through Delightful, but through himself. His voice rang out, sharp and commanding. "Pull, you dumb beast! Show them your strength, you fool!" Silence fell over the crowd. Delightful stood still, his muscles tensed, his breath steady, but he did not move. Rajiv's face darkened. He cracked the whip again, this time closer. "Move, you lazy animal!" But Delightful did not budge an inch. The whispers in the crowd grew louder. Dhanraj chuckled, shaking his head. And Rajiv's heart sank. He had lost. With humiliation burning in his chest, he handed over the 1,000 gold coins to Dhanraj and walked home, his head low, his pride shattered. That evening, as Rajiv sat in his courtyard, staring at the ground, lost in thought, he heard a deep voice behind him. "Master, why do you look so defeated?" Rajiv turned to see Delightful, standing calmly. "You humiliated me today," Rajiv muttered bitterly. "I trusted you, and you failed me." Delightful's eyes held no anger, only wisdom. "Did I fail you, or did you fail yourself?" Rajiv frowned. "What do you mean? You called me a fool, a dumb beast, a worthless animal. Have I ever broken anything? Have I ever refused to work? Have I ever disrespected you?" Rajiv swallowed hard. "No," he admitted. "Then why did you treat me that way?" Delightful asked. "Respect is not just a kindness. It is a force. It is what builds trust, what inspires greatness." You did not believe in me. You simply wanted to control me. Rajiv's face flushed with shame. He had let his pride cloud his judgment. After a long pause, Delightful stepped forward. I am still willing to pull the carts. Go back to Dhanraj. Make the same bet again. But this time, treat me with the respect I deserve. Rajiv hesitated. He had already lost once. What if it happened again? But deep inside, he knew Delightful was right. Respect was not demanded. It was earned. The next morning, Rajiv returned to Dhanraj's mansion. I want to place another bet, he declared, this time for 2,000 gold coins. Dhanraj laughed. Are you mad? You already lost once. This time will be different, Rajiv said with quiet confidence. Dhanraj, eager for easy money, agreed. The challenge was set once again. As the carts were lined up, Rajiv approached Delightful. This time there was no arrogance in his stance, no pride in his voice. Instead, he gently placed a lotus flower on Delightful's forehead and whispered, My friend, my companion, my strongest ally, please do me the honor of pulling these carts. Delightful's eyes glowed. He lowered his head, dug his hooves into the earth, and pulled with all his might. The first cart lurched forward, then the second, the third, the fourth. The entire town watched in stunned silence as Delightful dragged the 100 carts forward, his strength unstoppable. When the last cart stood in place of the first, the crowd erupted into cheers. Dhanraj stood in shock, his mouth hanging open. He had no choice but to hand over the 2,000 gold coins. But for Rajiv, the gold was secondary. He had gained something far greater, a lesson in humility, respect, and the true power of words. From that day forward, he never raised his voice at another living being. He understood now, harsh words break spirits, but kindness and respect create miracles. The moral is simple. Harsh words demotivate, while respect and kindness inspire loyalty and excellence. Treating others with dignity brings success, honor, and stronger relationships in every aspect of life.